Before diving into this incredible story, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell. Every story here has something to say, and you won't want to miss a single one. The sun shone on the sumptuous Westbrook villa, where elegantly dressed guests sipped champagne and exchanged polite smiles. Everything seemed perfect, the perfectly arranged white flowers, the piano playing a soft melody, and the bride, Eleanor Carter, radiant in her lace gown. After years of loneliness and disappointment, she was finally about to marry Marcus Whitmore, a charismatic and influential man whom everyone envied. But at the back of the room, among the guests, stood Eleanor's daughter, Lily. Her eyes shone with an unsettling intensity, a spark of truth ready to burst forth. For months, she had been searching for answers about Marcus, the man her mother believed to be perfect. And what she discovered was devastating. As the priest prepared to pronounce the sacred words, Lily stepped forward, her voice trembling but firm. "Stop." An icy silence fell over the room. Everyone's eyes turned to her in astonishment and shock. Eleanor blinked in disbelief, while Marcus frowned, surprised and visibly irritated. Lily took a deep breath and revealed what no one would have ever imagined: the groom, Marcus Whitmore, was not at all who he claimed to be. Behind his impeccable smile and seductive charisma hid a terrifying secret, a dark past he had tried to hide from everyone, especially his own fiancée. The guests murmured, some shocked, others frightened. Eleanor felt her world crumble around her, the dream of a perfect wedding transformed into a waking nightmare. The truth had hit home, and no one would ever be the same again on that day. After Lily's outburst of truth, the heavy silence that followed seemed to last an eternity. Eleanor, frozen, couldn't take her eyes off Marcus, whose mask of calm was beginning to crack. The guests held their breath, some whispering, others murmuring silent prayers. Marcus, in an icy voice, tried to regain control. "Lily, this is not the time or the place." But Lily, backed by fierce determination, continued, "No, Mom deserves to know. Everyone deserves to know." Eleanor felt her heart clench. She had thought she had known this man for months, shared his dreams, his hopes. And now, every memory seemed tinged with lies. "Lily, what exactly do you mean?" she asked, her voice trembling. Lily took a deep breath and finally revealed the secret she had discovered a few weeks earlier. Marcus was not the respected businessman he claimed to be. His real name was not Whitmore, but Marcus Hale, a fugitive wanted for financial fraud and manipulation that had ruined hundreds of lives. His supposedly legitimate investments were merely a smokescreen for his crimes. Eleanor's face paled, her hands trembled. The guests' murmurs grew louder, and some were already pulling out their phones to verify the accusations. Marcus, furious and humiliated, tried to approach Lily to threaten her, but Eleanor stepped between them, her eyes filled with anger and betrayal. "How dare you lie to me so much?" Eleanor yelled. "Everything we built, was it all a lie?" Marcus hesitated, realizing his facade had fallen, his manipulative world crumbling under the weight of the truth. Lily, watching her mother, knew she had just protected Eleanor from a lifetime of deception. But she also knew this was just the beginning of a chaos that would shake up much more than this marriage. After Lily's explosive revelation, the room seemed frozen in a moment outside of time. The shocked guests exchanged worried glances as Marcus Hale tried to regain his composure. His seductive smile was gone, replaced by a visible, almost feverish tension. "Eleanor, listen to me," he began, his voice trembling with anger and fear. "What you heard isn't exactly what you think." But Eleanor, for the first time, wouldn't listen. Her eyes shone with a new intensity, a strength she'd never known. "Don't lie to me again, Marcus. I believed you, I believed in us. All of this." She gestured to the lavish decor around them. "Was this all a lie?" Lily, sensing her mother needed support, stepped forward. "Mom, I've been investigating. The documents I found show he falsified contracts, manipulated companies, and destroyed the lives of dozens of families to enrich himself." The murmurs turned into agitated whispers. Some guests began to discreetly film the scene, others watched in fear. Marcus Hale felt panic rise within him. His years of manipulation had collapsed in an instant, and the power he thought he had over Eleanor and the others was vanishing. He took a threatening step forward, but Eleanor didn't back down. "If you have any respect for me or this roomful of witnesses, you'll leave us alone. This ends here." Marcus felt his anger rising, but also a new fear, that of losing everything he had built. For the first time, he understood that his dark past could no longer be hidden behind suits and charming smiles. And as Marcus Hale stepped back, Eleanor and Lily realized they had just opened a Pandora's box. What they had just revealed was only the beginning. Other secrets, darker and more dangerous, would soon resurface, and none of them would be spared. Marcus Hale, feeling his reputation and empire threatened, retreated a few steps, his fists clenched. His icy gaze fell on Lily, as if trying to make her understand that she had just started a fire that he would try to extinguish in his own way. "You think you know everything, don't you?" he growled, his voice trembling but full of menace. "You don't know anything about me." But Eleanor, for the first time in months, felt no fear. A new anger filled her, a strength she hadn't suspected. "We know enough to protect you from yourself and prevent others from falling victim to your lies," she replied firmly. Lily, who had prepared a comprehensive file on Marcus, walked over to him and said, "Mom, look at this. All these documents, these falsified contracts, the testimonies, it's all here. There's no more room for doubt." She placed the file on a table, letting the papers spread out under the curious and shocked gaze of the guests. The first evidence came pouring in, relentless: questionable transactions, anonymous letters from victims, hidden accounts. Marcus Hale felt his world crumble. The mask of the respectable man he had worn for years was cracking more and more. But Marcus wasn't one to be pushed around. He smiled a cold, menacing smile. "You think you figured me out? You have no idea what I'm capable of." Eleanor, her gaze hard and determined, advanced on him. "If you still think you can intimidate us, you're wrong. Today, Marcus, the power is no longer on your side." Lily looked at her mother and felt immense pride. Together, they had just taken control of the situation. But behind the anger and revelations, danger still lurked. Marcus Hale wasn't going to give up so easily, and his dark past still held secrets that could change the situation in unpredictable ways. Tensions rose, guests held their breath, and Eleanor realized she had just begun a battle that went far beyond a ruined wedding. After the confrontation in the wedding hall, Marcus Hale stepped back and retreated to a secluded room, his mind churning with anger and calculation. He knew Eleanor and Lily had discovered his past, but he wasn't a man to be crushed so easily. A cold, methodical revenge was beginning to brew in his mind. Meanwhile, Eleanor and Lily remained in the great hall, surrounded by shocked guests. The tension was palpable. The waiters stood frozen, unsure of what to do in the face of the unexpected chaos. Eleanor looked at her daughter gratefully. "Thank you, Lily, you saved a lot of people from that man." But Lily knew this was just the beginning. "Mom, he's not going to give up. You have to be ready." And she was right. A few hours later, Marcus reappeared, this time calmer, almost charming. He was smiling, but his eyes held a dangerous glint. "Eleanor," he said in a honeyed voice, "I think we should talk, quietly, away from all this crowd." Eleanor felt her instincts scream. She shook her head. "No, Marcus. It's all over. You won't manipulate anyone here again." Marcus bowed slightly, feigning acceptance, before disappearing through the back doors. But what Eleanor didn't know was that Marcus had already set a trap. He had contacted a few of his associates, men willing to do anything to protect his secrets, and he planned to use this evening to discredit Eleanor and Lily. A few minutes later, murmurs rose outside. Guests began receiving messages on their phones, compromising photos of transactions supposedly involving Eleanor and Lily. Eyes turned toward them, some suspicious, others curious. Eleanor felt panic rising around her, but she clenched her fists in determination. "No matter what he does, we won't back down," she whispered to her daughter. Lily, her gaze hard, added, "Mom, he He thinks he can intimidate us with threats and lies. But we have the truth on our side. And the truth always triumphs in the end. Marcus, behind the scenes, smiled in the shadows. His plan was unfolding perfectly, or at least, that's what he thought. But little did he know that every lie he'd been building for years would soon backfire explosively. The tension in the Westbrook mansion continued unabated. Eleanor and Lily were surrounded by the incessant murmuring of guests and anonymous messages circulating on phones. Marcus Hale, hidden behind his allies, watched every move, ready to strike when they were most vulnerable. Marcus knew that revealing his past wasn't enough to crush them. He needed a dramatic twist, something that would publicly discredit them and make them appear liars or crazy. Moments later, a discreet waiter brought a tray containing envelopes marked with Marcus's seal. The guests were intrigued. "What are these envelopes?" asked a guest, raising her eyebrows. Lily glanced over and felt her adrenaline pumping. She picked up an envelope and opened it. Inside were forged documents purporting to reveal that she and Eleanor had attempted to embezzle funds to sabotage Marcus. Chaos erupted. Some guests began to murmur, others to eye Eleanor suspiciously. But Eleanor, far from being intimidated, spoke with unexpected clarity and force. "These documents are falsified. They are lies." Her voice echoed through the room, and a shocked silence fell over the assembly. Lily, determined to protect her mother, took the microphone and said, "Mom and I have irrefutable proof of Marcus Hale's true identity and his crimes. We have uncovered all of his fraud and manipulation. We shouldn't be the ones under suspicion, it's him." At that moment, one of the guests, an influential lawyer named Jonathan Myers, stepped forward with his phone. "I checked these documents. They're completely falsified. Marcus Hale manipulated all of this to sow confusion." The murmurs turned to embarrassed whispers for those who had doubted. Marcus, furious, felt his plan failing. He had underestimated the strength and determination of Eleanor and Lily, as well as the effectiveness of those willing to support them. The facade he had built up over the years was crumbling before their eyes. But he wasn't finished yet. His eyes shone with a cold, calculating light. "It's not over," he muttered to himself. "If they think they've defeated me tonight, they're sorely mistaken." Eleanor squeezed her daughter's hand. "No matter what he tries, Lily. We will continue to fight for the truth." Lily nodded, aware that the battle had only just begun. After his first plan failed, Marcus Hale realized he had to strike where it would hurt most, Eleanor herself. Behind the scenes, he began exploiting her contacts to sow doubts about her past and her honesty. He knew that damaging her professional and social reputation could shatter everyone's trust in her. A few days after the interrupted wedding, anonymous messages began circulating on social media, accompanied by manipulated photos and rumors insinuating that Eleanor herself had participated in financial scams. Comments from online users exploded, a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. Eleanor felt her world reel. The looks of her colleagues and friends changed, some doubting her. But Lily, more determined than ever, stayed by her side. "Mom, don't let this man destroy you. We have the truth, and that's what matters." Eleanor took a deep breath and decided to fight back. Lily and she gathered all of Marcus Hale's evidence, official documents, victim testimonies, recordings, and photos proving his fraud and manipulation. They contacted Jonathan Myers, the influential lawyer present at the wedding, to prepare a strong and irrefutable legal case. Meanwhile, Marcus, believing his personal attacks would sow panic, was surprised to see Eleanor and Lily retaliate with a relentless strategy. Every rumor he spread was turned against him thanks to the mounting evidence. His anger rose, mixed with frustration at seeing his empire crumble little by little. The turning point came when Jonathan Myers spoke publicly at an impromptu conference. "Everything circulating about Eleanor Carter and her daughter is false. All these documents are forgeries. The real evidence shows that Marcus Hale has lied, manipulated, and deceived for years." The journalists present took note, social media ignited, and Marcus began to lose control of the situation. His reputation was faltering, and his allies were beginning to doubt him. Eleanor, sensing victory approaching, smiled at her daughter. Thank you for believing in me. We will never be intimidated by this monster. Lily took his hand. And we're not alone. The truth always comes out. But in the shadows, Marcus Hale was already preparing a new plan. More dangerous. More personal. And this time, he would spare nothing and no one in his attempt to regain control. Marcus Hale had nothing left to lose. His empire was crumbling, his reputation was in ruins, and he knew the only way to regain control was through direct action. One night, he slipped into Eleanor's residence, taking advantage of the darkness and the apparent vulnerability of his victims. Lily, who was staying up late preparing a supplementary file against Marcus, heard a suspicious noise. She immediately alerted her mother, "Mom, someone's here." Eleanor, though terrified, showed no sign of weakness. She grabbed a flashlight and cautiously moved down the corridor. Her heart pounding, she spotted Marcus's silhouette by the office window. His usually charming face was contorted with rage and panic. "Eleanor," he growled, "you shouldn't have humiliated me in front of everyone." "Marcus, you're finished," Eleanor replied firmly. "We have the truth, and this time, no one can protect you." But Marcus wasn't there to talk. He tried to grab the file from the desk, ready to run away and destroy the evidence. Lily quickly intervened, grabbing her phone to record the scene. "Mom, we have to call the police." Panicked, Marcus tried to escape through the back door. Eleanor and Lily followed closely behind, determined not to let him disappear. In the garden, a struggle ensued. A desperate Marcus finally revealed a secret he had been hiding for years. He was not only a fraudster, but had also involved other influential families in his scams, threatening and controlling them to protect his past. This revelation shocked Eleanor and Lily. Marcus's lie went much deeper than they imagined. But the police, alerted by Lily, arrived in time to arrest Marcus. He tried to defend himself arrogantly, but the damning evidence provided by Eleanor and Lily was irrefutable. Marcus Hale was arrested on the spot. His allies betrayed him, and the media present reported the event live, permanently destroying his public image. Eleanor, still shaken, hugged her daughter. "Thank you for being brave, you saved me, Lily." Lily smiled, tired but relieved. "We won, Mom. And this time, we know that the truth can never be crushed by fear or lies." But even after his fall, Marcus Hale's past remained a warning. Some secrets can turn lives upside down, and only vigilance and courage can confront them. The weeks following Marcus Hale's arrest were intense. The Westbrook mansion, once a scene of chaos, gradually returned to a place of calm. Eleanor and Lily worked together to rebuild their lives and protect themselves from the media fallout. But despite the apparent peace, tension lingered in the air. Eleanor spent her days responding to reporters and restoring her reputation, while Lily continued to document every detail of the case to ensure Marcus could never cause harm again. They laughed sometimes, recalling the moments of courage they had shared, but each smile was tinged with the gravity of what they had experienced. One evening, while they were sorting through Marcus's last papers, Lily came across a hidden file they hadn't noticed before. Her heart raced. "Mom, look at this. There's something here we've never seen before." Eleanor took the file, opened it, and scanned the pages. Her face froze. The documents revealed that Marcus Hale had acted under the influence of a mysterious accomplice, a powerful figure who had been pulling strings from the shadows for years. This person had manipulated Marcus, exploiting his ambitions and pride to achieve their own goals. "So," Eleanor whispered, "there's someone else behind all this?" Lily nodded. "Yes, and he or she was never identified. But now we know there's still a secret to be discovered." This latest revelation shocked Eleanor. Even after Marcus's fall, the danger wasn't completely over. But instead of fear, they felt renewed determination. They had survived a nightmare and discovered the truth, and they were ready to face whatever came next. Eleanor placed a hand on her daughter's shoulder. "We've been through hell before, Lily, and we won. Whatever lies beyond now, we'll do it together." Lily smiled confidently. Together, nothing can stop us. And as night fell over Westbrook, mother and daughter stood side by side, knowing that truth and courage were now their greatest weapons, even in the face of the darkest secrets yet to be revealed. Since discovering the hidden file, Eleanor and Lily knew that a mysterious accomplice had been manipulating Marcus Hale from the start. Every document, every clue brought them closer to the truth, but the shadow behind Marcus always seemed out of reach, until an unexpected lead emerged. One evening, while reviewing the emails intercepted by Jonathan Myers, Lily noticed a detail, a recurring encrypted signature, linked to financial transfers and orders given to Marcus. She showed the document to her mother. "Mom, look at this. I think this is our common thread." Eleanor analyzed it carefully and felt her blood run cold. The signature belonged to Victoria Langston, an influential businesswoman and renowned philanthropist, admired by all for her apparent integrity. But the documents revealed that she had used Marcus as a pawn to protect her own interests and eliminate her rivals. "Victoria Langston?" Eleanor exclaimed. "This woman is respected all over the world. How could she have been behind all this?" Lily clenched her fist. "She planned everything, Marcus, his fraud, the threats. He was never the mastermind. He was only the executor." Eleanor felt a dull anger rise within her. She had faced Marcus, but behind him, a far more cunning and dangerous enemy continued to work in the shadows. However, instead of fear, Eleanor and Lily felt a new strength. They had survived Marcus, and now they could face Victoria Langston. With the help of Jonathan Myers, they began compiling all the evidence they could against Victoria. Every document, every email, every transaction became a weapon. Eleanor knew the final showdown was approaching, and this time, it wasn't just about saving her reputation or her life, but about revealing the truth about a woman capable of manipulating the entire world. This revelation changed everything. The battle wasn't over, it had just taken on an even more dangerous dimension. But Eleanor and Lily were ready. Together, they would face Victoria Langston and end this chain of lies once and for all. After weeks of painstaking investigation and preparation, Eleanor and Lily were finally ready to confront Victoria Langston. The evidence they had gathered was overwhelming: financial transfers, secret correspondence, witness statements, and forged documents. Everything they had suffered since the ruined wedding was about to come to a head. They arranged a formal meeting in Jonathan Myers's office, with a lawyer and a police detective present to ensure nothing would be concealed. Victoria Langston arrived, impeccably dressed, her face serene and the confident smile she displayed to the world. But Eleanor and Lily saw beyond this facade. "Hello, Victoria," Eleanor said calmly, but with a newfound authority. "We know everything. Every lie, every manipulation, every threat you orchestrated through Marcus Hale." Victoria smiled slightly, as if she found this amusing. "Really? You think you have the power to unmask me?" Lily stepped forward, her eyes shining with determination. "Yes. Thanks to documents, evidence, and testimonies you never had a chance to control. You used Marcus as a pawn, but this time, you're the one who's been exposed." Victoria paled imperceptibly, realizing that her empire of manipulation was about to collapse. "You have no idea what you're unleashing," she whispered, but her voice betrayed a nervousness she'd never shown in public. Jonathan Myers presented the evidence point by point, relentless and irrefutable. The transfers, the instructions to Marcus, the fake contracts, everything was exposed. Victoria tried to deny it, but each lie crumbled under the weight of the truth. Finally, the police, already alerted by the case, entered the office and handed Victoria an official warrant. She understood that there was no longer any possibility of escape. "You have won this battle," she murmured, cold but defeated. "But remember, there are always secrets that escape even the best investigations." Eleanor and Lily exchanged a look, tired but victorious. "Secrets don't matter," Eleanor said, "as long as we have the truth, we can face anything." As Victoria was led away, mother and daughter stood side by side, feeling for the first time an immense weight lift. The nightmare was finally over. Eleanor smiled at Lily. "We've been through hell, my daughter. But we came out stronger, and together, nothing and no one can ever destroy us. Lily squeezed her mother's hand. The truth has triumphed, Mom. And now we can finally begin to live, without lies, without fear, and with all the courage we've discovered within ourselves. The sun rose over Westbrook, illuminating a new life of truth, courage, and freedom. The past, with all its secrets and lies, was now history.